kind of the first month or two, we kind of let them, that we were having conversations and all that. When we saw that there wasn't a whole lot of progress being made, probably, probably in that second month, and we weren't real happy with where they were going. And so,
as an operator, I know other investors are romanticizing multifamily investing, and I'm looking to learn from other investors' mistakes. I know you are too, and you found the right place. Welcome to Myers Methods Presents Multifamily Missteps. Hey everybody, and welcome to Myers Methods Presents Multifamily Missteps. I'm your host, Jerome. I've got the pleasure of having Dustin Miles with me today. Dustin, where are you? You're in Texas, right?
I am. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas, Cowtown.
Cowtown. Here we go. I've never heard that one before, but not my fault than your fault. So before we dive in, if the listeners want to get in contact with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, the best way to get in touch with me is, so our website is momentummultifamily.com. And then it's just Dustin at momentummultifamily.com. I'm all over Facebook, Instagram, and I'm not as LinkedIn as you are, but I'm trying to follow your lead, man. So
Everybody's got to pick where they want to be, and
yeah.
one I picked. I'm not very good on LinkedIn or Facebook, or I'm sorry, Instagram or Facebook. So everybody's picking their, I guess, battle path or whatever you want to call it. So let's dive into your background and what you're most excited about that you have going on right now.
Yeah. I've been syndicating apartment deals for the past, syndicated my first deal in 2014. I've syndicated 10 deals to date. And then, I guess just kind of stepping back a little bit further, I am, so I was born in Fort Worth. I went to UT Austin, hook 'em horns for engineering school. And, I've always been pretty entrepreneurial. When I was a little kid, I had a candy business. I bought and sold baseball cards. I mowed lawns, had a carnival. If there was a way to make money, I was trying to do it. I remember in elementary school, so I was about 8, and my bus driver called me the candy man, and my school threatened to kick me out if I didn't stop selling candy. And I think it was just because I was, I was taking profits from them. So anyways, but that's my kind of early childhood. Then went to UT Austin. I had an internet business there. I didn't know anything about it, but I sold Pokemon cards around the world. And so I would have 2 backpacks when I went to class. I'd have my engineering backpack, and then I would have my backpack full of packages to go to the to the post office to send out. So it was kind of interesting. And then my apartment in college was half filled with Pokemon cards. So my friends would kind of look at me a little funny, and then I'd be like, well, I'm making good money. So, there you go. But, once I got out of college, I started flipping houses and doing rentals, did about half a dozen of those. And I was like, man, it's a lot of work. And so kind of the eye was, always kind of wanted to go bigger and didn't really know what that looked like. And, had joined some different groups and got some traction on the multifamily side. I first invested passively in multifamily in 8 years ago, 2012, and we actually still have that asset today. We've refied it twice since then, and pulled out. I'll tell you this: it's a B deal in DFW, and we bought it at a 9 cap, so, or maybe a 10 cap. It's somewhere in there. And so, cap rates for B deals right now are, depends on the location, but 5-ish. So anyways, there's big spread, but I like I said, I've syndicated 10 deals. I'm a father. I have a 9-year-old son. He just turned 9, and I'm you know, like to be active. Love hiking. I have a current goal of running a mile under 5 minutes right now, and which is, it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So I got really serious recently. I just hired a track coach, so I'm all about, if there's anything you want to do it in life, you go hire a coach or you go partner with someone who's already done it. So that's, it's not success. It's not voodoo or anything like that. You just keep on, you figure out what your map is and what direction you're going in, and you get people to kind of help you along the way, and just keep working at it. So, yeah, so that's kind of my background.
Wow, a mile in under 5 minutes. I mean, that's like college athlete speed.
It's hard. Yeah, especially I'm 42, and there's, I don't remember the exact number, but there's about 1,000 people ish or so that have run a mile under 4 minutes, but there's only 3 people who've done it that are over 40. So it gets a lot harder, as you get older. So, as most people know.
What's the impetus for doing that? I'm totally intrigued.
I like a challenge, and I was like, that sounds pretty hard, but I've played soccer my whole life, and still play today, although not playing during COVID. But yeah, I've always been pretty quick, more of a sprinter, and so I was like, hey, I think I can do this. And my other kind of immediate goal is I want to run 400 meters in under 60 seconds, which that's easier for me because I'm more of a sprinter than, the miles harder for sure.
Yeah, that distance makes a big difference.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
for sure.
Man, so you got an engineering degree from UT. Did you
Yep.
use it at all?
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, I worked for my first job out of school was I worked fuel cell research. And then after that, I worked for a defense company, and I still work there 2 days a week now. But I initially I was doing carbon nanotube research with them, and then now it's more project management now. So, but
Nice,
yeah.
nice. I always love seeing fellow engineers in the space because people are like, "Well, why'd you throw away your education?" It's like,
Right, right. No, I mean, multifamily takes math, and I like numbers, and so it works.
perfect. And
Yeah.
so, in those 10 deals, every deal has worked exactly as you put in the business plan, right?
Not so much, but we pivot and improvise, and there's a few of them that have gone fairly smoothly, but most of them we have plenty of hiccups along the way. So, yeah.
Is there one we were talking a little bit earlier about like some property management or something that kind of screwed up a deal a little bit?
Yeah, there's a few deals where there's been some pivots and things like that. There's one deal where it's out in Abilene, and it's doing really well now. But initially we had a tough time. So the management company that we were initially working with, and we knew that we were going to be their only asset out there, but they specialize in secondary markets, smaller towns. That's kind of their specialty. And so we're like, okay, and they had some stuff in some nearby towns, and so we felt comfortable. And anyways, we got into it, and it just, we had a manager initially, but I mean, out of the first, we ended up letting them go. I don't remember, between 6 and 8 months in, but out of the 6 to 8 months, we probably only had. I mean, it was. They kept on telling us they couldn't find managers, they couldn't find this. And we're like, come on, we call around, and or we'll go shop other property. Everybody else has a manager, why not us? And so, I really think it was an interesting situation. So the kind of the BD guy, kind of part owner that we initially worked with, and we worked with him for about a year. We felt very, very comfortable with him. He was extremely helpful. And the problem is as soon as we closed our deal, he retired. And so, our main connection, which is we were sold on this company because of this guy. And, anyways, he ended up retiring. So it was good for him. But, it just didn't, we struggled out there management wise. Good thing that property doesn't have a whole lot of delinquency or bad debt or turnover. And I mean, normal property, we would have, because we started out, probably low to mid 90s occupancy. And, frankly, a lot of properties, with higher delinquency and higher bad debt, you would have seen that occupancy drop from, 93, 94, potentially down into the 70s or 60s. But we were hanging in there at 88, 86, something like that, with, frankly, pretty poor management. And we were having to go out there a lot to kind of babysit. And so anyways, we told them, hey guys, no hard feelings, but we gotta change directions. And we kind of felt like that the guy that ended up retiring maybe didn't coordinate with his maybe his front office. Anyways, I'm not sure if it was the best fit for them either. So it ended up working out. We're doing really well on the property. We were, looking at a supplemental loan, which is great. And then our cash flow, we've been holding on to cash a little bit more because of COVID, but prior to COVID, I mean, our cash flow was, 13, 14% cash on cash, which is awesome. So, yeah.
People want to be profitable multifamily operators but lack the knowledge, deal flow experience, and capital to be successful. They often try to overcome these challenges out of order, slowing or eliminating their ability to get their next deal done. We've developed a framework that allows them to gain the knowledge they need to find profitable deals. When they do, they create the time and location freedom, as well as the generational wealth they desire for their family. The Myers methods of multifamily investing have proved to be the fastest way to establish credibility and profitably grow an apartment portfolio. If you want to know more about our 4-step process, jump over to myersmethods.com to get our free 4-step guide to getting into multifamily investing. Let's get back to the episode. So, at what point did you guys say, hey, we're going to make a decision and do something different? Did you have meetings with the property manager? Like, walk me through the process of making that final decision that we're going to do something different.
Yeah, we gave them, the first 3 months or so, we were on them quite a bit. And we were having very frequent conversations with them. Initially, we didn't want to be too overbearing. We want, kind of let them, we're paying them. We want to let them do their thing. And so we ended up, so initially kind of the first month or two, we kind of let them, that we were having conversations and all that. When we saw that there wasn't a whole lot of progress being made, probably, probably in that second month, and we weren't real happy with where they were going. And so we started having, a lot more frequent conversations. And it was probably, I don't remember exactly because it's been a year or so, but probably around the fourth month or so is where we, we're like, okay, we think we got to make a move here. And so we started interviewing, kind of, I've had to do this, once before at a property in Oklahoma. But what we ended up doing was, started interviewing some nearby management companies. There was I don't remember if no, they were out there. There was a management company I was really familiar with and had worked with for, a few years. And so they were out there, and there were a few other options as well. So we interviewed each of them, got performance from each, and then, ended up, making a decision and telling the former management company, hey guys, we appreciate all of your effort, but, we're falling behind on our performa. A lot of things aren't getting done. We're having to take care of the make readies. We're having to hire third parties, just to do the make readies. And typically, a lot of that stuff is done, at least from my experience, has been done in house, unless we're needing to do a bunch of them at one time. Then maybe we'll bring, a third party, construction company in. But for the most part, I mean, they just weren't getting stuff done. None of our capex was getting done. Build back of water was very slow. I don't even think they did that. So, just a lot of things weren't getting done. I mean, we were getting behind on we were watching our performer, like, man, we're just, we're slipping and slipping and slipping. We're like, we can't keep this up. Cause we have, we have money in the deal, but we want to make sure that, we, do the best thing for investors. And, we have a lot of friends and family in the deal. And, so just, wanted to make sure we're doing the right thing for them. And so, yeah, ended up making the switch. And, it's been a great move. I've been really happy with where we're at. We do events there, at the property. We did, it was a little tricky, with the whole COVID thing. But we've done, bought pizzas for every unit. We just did we hired a snow cone, truck to come by pretty recently too. And so it's fun. And the cool thing is, at that particular property, because we have, two other assets out there, we have about 450 units. And, in that particular asset, we'll get thank you cards from people, for the pizza and for the snow cone stuff. So they're super sweet. It's awesome.
Beautiful. Was there a financial impact or any collateral damage from making the shift?
Not really. The other management company was able to hit pretty similar numbers. That's kind of the concern sometimes. If you have one management company that has lower payroll, and then you go to another management company that typically has higher payroll, that could be, a potential issue. But that wasn't an issue here. Yeah, we didn't, maybe our insurance was a little bit higher, but other than that, I mean, it was fine. And we've, during, we're seeing that, pretty often, but during COVID, we're hitting our highest numbers at this property right now. So it's been awesome.
Nice. What did you guys change in your process to make sure that you got the right property manager the first time going forward?
Yeah. So, I guess because I invest passively too. And that's one thing I really look for is I want to make sure that the management company has current experience, in that submarket, and they're currently in that submarket. There was another deal, I had in Oklahoma where I had changed management companies, and the management company I was using was this deal was in Oklahoma City, and the management company was based in Oklahoma City. And, anyways, there weren't, a ton of options up there that I was real comfortable with. And so, to be more on the safe side, I ended up going with a management company out of Dallas that I knew very well and had been with for a few years. And they were interested in, coming up to, Oklahoma City. And so, we, brought them up there. But, there were challenges, with that too. They didn't have, they were new to Oklahoma City. They didn't have all these vendors. I mean, they're like, oh, who do we use for, plumbing? Who do we use? Who's, good construction guy? I mean, you're starting from scratch. And so they were having to do, they were renting U-Haul trucks, and they were bringing flooring up, from Dallas to Oklahoma City. And I mean, it's just, it's tough if, if if they aren't used to that market and they haven't been there for a while and they don't have the resources and all that, it just makes it more challenging, and it probably, delays hitting that performa, for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah. I I signed a contract that had an early termination clause in it, and
Oh,
I had to pay 2 management companies for 1 quarter when I made the mistake of hiring the wrong group. So,
oh, bummer. Okay.
I like to throw that out because I make mistakes too. And
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're all,
um,
yeah.
and so the last question for this conversation, Dustin, is what words of wisdom do you have for our listeners?
I would, just to kind of recap, I would say, in terms of, not only syndicator hat, but also passive investor hat, I would just say, in some of this is a lot of this common sense, but, I would say that, if you're looking to enter a market, it helps a whole lot if that management company already has a presence there, has been there for a while, knows the market. There's certain markets that are a lot more difficult to break into than others. One that kind of sticks out in my mind is Houston. And Houston is their zoning's a little funky down there, and so things can change, and things can change very quickly in a lot of cities. But I feel like, Houston's just a little bit different, at least compared to the other Texas cities. And so you just want to have a management company that has boots on the ground. They have the resources, they have the other the subcontractors that can help out, and it makes things so much more easier if they don't have, if that management company doesn't have any other assets there. Because sometimes we end up sharing resources if someone quits or whatever. They can shift over. They can shift over a leasing agent, or they can shift over someone to help out with work orders and things like that. So it helps a ton to have work with a management company that already has the resources there, and they're not entering a new market.
Got it. Make sure they're already there. Don't bring people into a new market, especially if you're new to the market.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And then, if they're not in that market already, also, I mean, it's, when people know the markets, and I'll kind of pick on Houston again, with Houston, if they're already kind of in those different submarkets and all that, they know what's typical for bad debt, what's typical for delinquency, and because different submarkets can change very quickly.
Yeah, without question. And somebody knowing what rent should be versus what they are is super
Yeah.
helpful.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
if you're in
So.
a area that's gentrifying because it's
Yep.
so block by block. Um,
Yeah.
so awesome. Well, Dustin, I appreciate you being so generous with your time. I look forward to learning more about you and following your journey. We'll talk.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
You made it to this juncture, so you really love what we shared on this episode of Myers Methods Presents Multifamily Missteps. Do us a favor, give us a 5-star rating, give us a review, and share this with somebody who's interested in multifamily investing. Until the next time, the pack is with you.